Welcome back, episode 110 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. As always, I'm here with Troy. What's going on, Troy?
Not a whole lot. Not much going on in our house. Just mowed the lawn. Kid went to hockey. We're good to go.
So have you had a little bit more of a relaxing weekend?
Yeah,
it's been chaotic.
No, it's been pretty relaxing. This is there's just 2 or 3 week stretch where I'll not have a lot going on for weekends with other things. But once school starts, my daughter starts, even though she's in high school, she's going to go to college, and she starts classes next week on Monday, tomorrow.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's been pure chaos in my house this weekend. We did 2 college tours on Friday and Saturday. Thursday and Friday. We went to the U of M in Twin Cities campus, then went to University of Minnesota Duluth on Friday. My daughter had a hockey tournament. My parents were in town, which was great to see them, and have a puppy. And then we're trying to obviously get our show ready too. So I'm going to need a nap, I think, after we're done recording. But happy to be here. Got a great show, I think, planned today, and excited to chat some hockey cards. Before we get started, though, just want to remind everybody that the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a Patreon podcast. That means we rely on support of listeners like yourself to help us cover our show expenses, continue to produce more and hopefully better hockey card content and fun initiatives, even in a small way to grow the hockey card hobby. Right now, you can support us for as little as $5 a month. Be one of our first 199 supporters. Forever have that title. Be in our Auto 199 club. You also get exclusive access to our Discord server. Chat with us every day on there and the great group of people that we have that just talk hockey cards and hockey and life all day long. And if you're a big baller like Troy and want to be a super supporter of our show, we also have a triple gold option at $19.95 a month. You'll get some other benefits we're working on, like being featured on our website, working on some t-shirts for our triple gold people and stuff like that along the way. We do have one of our patrons, Louis, bumped up to triple gold. So thank you, Louis, for that. That's amazing. And yeah, Troy, I think we're ready to get on with the game plan.
All right. On today's show, we begin with the greatest NHL player to wear number 10. Josh, it will be one of your favorites. Mm-hmm. Then it's off to look at what exactly is the future of the Future Watch Auto Hockey Card. Then we go to hobby news, followed by new product releases. This is followed by the second straight episode of new product releases. I'm not sure what's going on. I guess when you're on a Hockey Cards podcast, you should actually buy some hockey cards every once in a while. So Josh has a pickup. I will begrudgingly say my my pickups that were not good. More box ripping for Troy, but we'll get to that. Yeah. And we finish today's episode with our listener mailbag. All right, let's get to fun stuff, Josh.
Okay.
Not dwell on Troy's box ripping. So we are on episode 110. So the greatest NHL player to wear number 10. Per the Hockey Writers' greatest NHL player to wear each number article is Guy Lafleur. One of my favorite names to say it, Lafleur.
I'm really impressed with the photos that you pick for these. That's an awesome photo of Guy.
Yeah, that's a good one. I got another one coming up that's just decided to add another photo halfway through. It's another plain photo. I found the NHL Top 100 has some really good photos, which you'd expect.
Yeah, they do.
And this is, I think, where this one is from. So I'm going to start doing this, even though it's way late before I decided doing this. Runners up at number 10 were Pavel Bure, George Armstrong, and Ron Francis. So not quite as good as number 9 runner-ups, but pretty strong class there. All right, Guy Lafleur, right winger from Thurso, Quebec, Canada. Lafleur was the first overall draft pick by the Montreal Canadiens in the 1971 NHL Amateur Draft. And Josh, I didn't put this in here, but I was remembering it. Guess who number 2 was? I didn't even know this. It was Marcel Dion.
Oh, wow.
And the Canadiens were going back and forth on who they should, because Dion, I think, was from Quebec too. So it's kind of a little controversy on who they should take, and they took Lafleur. But I guess Dion had the better start to his NHL career, so there's kind of some media backlash. But I think it worked out okay for Montreal with having Lafleur.
Did you come across in your research, I'm just curious if at the time, if Montreal had the number 1 pick, were they for sure taking a French Canadian?
Oh, I didn't see that, but Lafleur was a stud. He's one of those kids that came up, 200 goal season, and so was Dion. They were both studs. I don't think you could have went wrong with either one of them.
Yeah.
All right.
I just wonder if it was like, remember how like the Gophers for the first 50 years would only give scholarships to Minnesota kids if there was a little kind of French Canadian rule with the Canadians at one point. But somebody can message us and let us know.
For sure. Lafleur played in 1,126 regular season NHL games over a 17-season NHL career. Lafleur began his career playing 14 seasons with the Montreal Canadiens. However, at the end of his 14th season, Lafleur decided to retire. He did not have a good relationship with current head coach and his former line mate and our boy, Jacques Lemaire. And when the Canadiens refused his trade request, he retired. So Jock and him didn't get along as coach-player relationship. Sounds like I think they got along pretty well when they were line mates, but once that dynamic changes, something kind of went awry.
Lafleur didn't want to do the dump and chase?
He didn't want to do the Lafleur dump or the Lemieux dump and chase. So he retires. However, after 3 years of retirement, Lafleur made a comeback and then finished his career with one season with the New York Rangers, and then he played 2 seasons with the Quebec Nordiques.
All right, 3 years off is a long time.
3 years is a long time. And during that time off, I think he actually got inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame too. So that's kind of weird when you get inducted and then come back. All right, he's a Hall of Famer, 5-time Stanley Cup winner, 2-time Hart Trophy winner, 3-time Art Ross Trophy winner, 1-time Conn Smythe winner, 3-time Ted Lindsay Award winner, then the Lester B. Pearson Award, 6-time NHL First All-Star Team selection, named to the NHL's top 100 players list. Number 10 is retired by the Montreal Canadiens. So pretty good list of accomplishments. Over his NHL regular season career, he had 560 goals, 793 assists for 1,353 points.
Okay, I have a comment about the awards. And just a mental note for you, Troy, and for all the listeners, because this is something I really want to know now. We learned, I think most people knew that. So the Ted Lindsay is basically the MVP, but voted on by the NHLPA, so the players, where the Hart is voted on by the writers. And so he won the Ted Lindsay 3 times, but only won the Hart twice. I wonder how often that happens, where there's a difference in opinion between the players and the hockey writers.
There's such a bias if you allow the right. I mean, I get it. The writers probably should have a vote on something. And I can't remember if GMs are involved in any of these at any point, but if you're let's say, not very nice to media, some of those guys hold it against you. And but the thing, it could be the same thing for the players too. If you're a cheap shot like Brad Marchand, do you think a lot of players are going to vote for him for MVP after all the stuff he does? But it's one of those things. All right. Let's see. I forgot where I was. Okay. Lafleur made the playoffs in 14 of his 17 NHL seasons, compiling 58 goals, 76 assists for 134 points in 128 NHL playoff games played. Here comes some fun stuff. Lafleur began his NHL career with 13 straight seasons of 50 or more points. In addition, during the streak, he had 6 straight seasons of 100-plus points.
Wow.
He also had a streak of 6 straight seasons of 50-plus goals, which made him the first NHL player to score at least 50 goals and 100 points in 6 straight seasons. I did not know that. That's crazy. I love finding stuff out like that.
Did you ever watch him play? Do you ever remember him playing?
I don't, but it's going to get pretty crazy when I get to fun facts. Obviously, he had that 3-year retirement. I don't really remember him playing, but there's a little interesting nugget with him that happened in the 91 expansion draft that I'll get to. You'll find it interesting too. Okay, so that's what we got. Best season of Lafleur's NHL career, regular season, from a point standpoint, was a 76-77 season, where he had 56 goals, 80 assists for 136 points in 80 games played. Obviously, Lafleur is one of the most prolific scorers in NHL history. He was also one of the most exciting players to ever play the game. He did the majority of playing for one of the most iconic franchises in the NHL, which I think always helps when you're a stud on a stud team. That means you're pretty good. And the Canadiens have had so many star players for them. But if you want to know how actually good Guy Lafleur was, here's some stuff for you. He's the Montreal Canadiens all-time leader in regular season points, assists, and single season points. In fact, he holds positions 1 through 6 for single season point totals for the Canadiens. This is stuff I had no clue. I think I did not understand how good he was until I did all this research, and I'm almost embarrassed. I knew he was always great, but I didn't know he was this great. He also has the most 40-goal, 50-goal, and 100-point seasons for the Canadiens in their history. Finally, he leads the Canadiens in game-winning goals in a season and in his career. Oh, yeah, and one last thing. He is tied for the lead with Steve, S-H-U-T-T, I'm going to say shut or shoot.
I think it's shut.
Yeah, for most goals in a season by a Canadiens player. Lafleur was also known for his tremendous ability to find open ice and weave his way through opponents. I think we've all seen, I've got a picture up. He's got the sweet hair, the flow. I didn't get a really good side picture, but I do remember him a little bit playing and seeing footage of his hair just flying behind him. He was a fantastic skater. He was also known for his tremendous charisma and his ability to put spectators in the seats with his ability and personality. True NHL legend. After hockey, Lafleur worked in various front office roles with teams. He also owned a helicopter transportation company, a brand of fruit juice energy drink called Flower Power, and owned a couple of restaurants. So he definitely stayed busy in retirement. Unfortunately, Guy Lafleur passed away on April 22nd of 2022. He was given a national funeral in Canada, which I think pretty much sums up just how important he was to Canada in the game of hockey. All right, Josh, we got fun, interesting facts. And I can't wait to get to the last one because it just kind of one of those things I was like, what, really? So here we go. Why did Guy Lafleur wear number 10? Lafleur has stated that Jean Beliveau originally asked him to take his number 4. Now, I also found stories where just people were saying he should take number 4. So I'm not sure if Beliveau said it or it was just media members or people thought he should be number 4. But Lafleur said he had second thoughts saying, don't try to be a second Jean Beliveau. Be the first Guy Lafleur. Take a number and make it your own. Kind of pretty cool quote. I like that.
Huh.
His nickname, the Flower, which I read was more known by English-speaking fans because it's a literal translation of his last name. Lafleur, the Flower, is the English version. However, for French fans, he was known as Le Demon Blonde or the Blonde Demon. In addition, was also known as one of the several players with the Flying Frenchman moniker. So I'm curious if that's true. If French speakers called him Le Demon Blonde and English were calling him the Flower.
Crazy.
In 1979, Lafleur released the album Lafleur, consisting of Guy Lafleur reciting hockey instructions accompanied by disco music. Please tell me someone has this. I need to hear it. I didn't look it up, so maybe it's probably out there on YouTube or something. But I think
we have new intro music, Trey.
I have to hear this. All right, Josh, here's the last fun fact. This just kind of it blows my mind a little bit. The Minnesota North Stars actually selected Lafleur with the final pick in the 1991 expansion draft. However, Lafleur decided to retire, so we never got to see Lafleur in a North Stars jersey. I had no clue. I'm no confused. Clue that happened.
Why were the North Stars picking in an expansion draft in 91?
That's what I think. I think all the teams maybe somehow were involved because it wasn't there. Was that one like San Jose and maybe Panthers?
But usually, like when a new team comes, they take your players. You don't.
Yeah, so I don't. That's what I read. Maybe I misread, but that's what I got because I remember staring at that for a long time. It was Wikipedia, crazy. So you never know. It could be Wikipedia playing games on me.
Why isn't he regarded more in the hobby, especially? Like you look at his accomplishments, Troy.
Yeah.
5-time Stanley Cup winner, multiple Hart Trophy, 3-time Art Ross, 560 goals. he's just not in that Lemieux, Gretzky, Howe, or category.
Probably just the era he played, and
Maybe.
I know his autograph's not hard to find. You can get it if you want. I know I got a Stature card of him last year because I wanted an auto of Guy Lafleur, and Stature I like, so that was one I went with. But yeah, that's a good question. Definitely.
Was it expensive?
No, it wasn't expensive at all. I mean, less than maybe 50 to 100, somewhere in there. For a numbered card too, it's like out of maybe 25 or 50, somewhere in there.
Okay.
All right. So that's Lafleur. So his rookie card, we've talked about this card a lot on our show. It's one of Josh's favorite. 1971-72 OPG number 148. Now, Josh, did you ever notice this? I didn't really notice this. It's got his name is wrong.
Yeah.
It's got the LA and then space Lafleur, and it's actually one word. So Lafleur.
Yeah.
And I like that. It took me a little bit to find the slab in PSA to find pop counts because it's listed as this, not under his like the LA no space. So I just had to realize that, and then I finally found it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they just match whatever's printed on the card.
Yep. So obviously the PSA 10, which this is a 9, I'm showing on screen if you're watching on YouTube. The PSA 10 copy of this card is a pop of 6. All-time record sale I could find via Card Ladder was $31,801 US via Golden on August 6th of 2022. And just to give you a little indication, a PSA 9, which has a pop of 56, cards sold via eBay on August 13th of this year for $4,750. So that's kind of your 10 and 9, and then kind of work your way down if you want to get a graded copy below a PSA 9. Great looking
I think
card.
I'm still baffled why he's not in higher esteem, because I didn't even throw in the whole Montreal Canadiens factor to that too. That's just wild to me. But hey, you can get a very, very, very great player for not a lot of money, especially too, because, and I haven't looked this up, but I would assume that aside from the 71 OPG, that all the other cards in his career are pretty inexpensive.
So Josh, I'm doubting myself. I went back to, now this is Wikipedia again. It does say the North Stars selected him in the 91 expansion draft.
Okay.
So I'm sure there's something the San Jose. Oh, hold on. This is great. Now I'm going down a rabbit hole.
1 hour later.
Yeah, dispersal draft took place to fill the roster of the league's only expansion team, the San Jose Sharks. First from the North Stars pool of players and then from the rest of the NHL. To restock the North Stars rosters and to fill out the Sharks roster.
Why did we get? Wait a minute.
Why are we so close? Is this when we were leaving? Did we leave? And who knows? Obviously I didn't follow the North Stars as close as I thought I did.
Okay.
All right. Someone will tell us that we're idiots and what's going on. But
somebody will for sure tell us we're idiots. We do every day. Good report, Troy. It was awesome to learn a little bit more about Guy Lafleur, and can't wait for number 11. We're going to transition now to talk about Future Watch autos. We got a lot of good responses, Troy, from our Young Guns deep dive.
Yeah,
was that a few shows ago now? And so I thought it makes sense to try to tackle another one of the big monster cards that we get asked about a lot, which of course is the Future Watch auto out of $9.99 from the SP Authentic set. And I guess why we understand too that there's parallels to this card. I think most people know about the first 50 serial numbered that include the NHL debut date as an inscription, or the black parallel with gold ink auto. But much like with Young Guns, we want to focus today on the base card and really dig into it. And I think, Troy, if you really think about the Future Watch auto, it's one of the more fascinating hockey cards you'll find. I could have spent a month seriously looking into this card. It's hard to stop sometimes because I just, the more I learn, it's like the more questions that pop in my head. And to me, what's the most interesting thing about, if I had to like distill down what makes this card so interesting, it's really two factors. The first is that they're incredibly valuable. Like, these cards hold a lot of value. And then they have a big print run, basically out of 1,000. And what's crazy about those two things together is that that's not usually a good mix for what works well in sports cards. Is normally the lower the print run, the more valuable, but in the Future Watch Auto seems to basically buck that norm. Before we get into it, though, are you are you a fan of Future Watch Autos? Is that a card that you like and gravitate to, Troy?
I don't collect them. I do like them. I do think they're fun. Or I don't have anything against them. I actually like the legendary all-time Future Watches better.
Yeah, those are
But
awesome.
that's just I'm a sucker for SP Legends Signature Edition or whatever. But yeah, I get these Future Watches. I do like the designs and everything. I don't really collect them that much or at all unless I pull one in a pack.
So I wanted to start getting some better context on the Future Watch Autos by understanding sort of the sales history a little bit and what the current market trends are, and then also a little bit of the historical context. So I did some sales history digging, and what I found is not, I think, real surprising is that there's very few cards that are out of $9.99 in any sport that have ever commanded the type of value that a Future Watch Auto does. So if you look at like the top all-time sale for a Future Watch Auto at $9.99, it was $85,100 US for a 2015 Connor McDavid BGS 10 that sold in March of 2021. That is also, Troy, the highest selling sports card out of 999 ever, too. Very narrowly beating out a 2009 Topps Chrome Steph Curry PSA 10 that sold for 85,000 flat. So it beat it by $100.
Okay. That's a cool stat. I'd have never guessed that.
But it counts, right? We'll take it.
Yep,
Any win for the hockey hobby, we're going to take it. So the $100 thing aside, it's crazy to think, again, that a hockey card dominates that out of 999 serial number over basketball, football, baseball, which tend to outsell hockey in every other card in every other circumstance all the time.
Yep.
I also took a look at non-hockey cards that are serial numbered out of 999 and that have sold for more than 20 grand. And it's a really short list where a number of Future Watch Auto hockey cards have sold for that amount. So if you look at non-hockey cards, it's that 2009 Topps Chrome Steph Curry out of 999. Then there's a 2007 Topps Chrome LeBron James Refractor out of 999. And a 2003 Topps Finest LeBron out of 999. So those are the only three other sports cards that have ever, out of serial numbered out of 999, that have ever sold for more than 20 grand. A little bit of a side note here too. There is kind of a Tiger Woods Future Watch Auto. It's from 2021 SP Authentic Golf. The card is called Authentic Stars, and it's out of 900, not 999. But that card is sold for more than 100,000 US in a PSA 10 Auto 10.
Is that 2001 or 2021?
2001. Did I say 21?
Okay, 2001. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy if it was crazy if it's a 21 card.
But one thing to keep in mind, though, with these the 3.5 examples, is these are all just like one-off mega cards of huge rookies, like Steph Curry rookie or a LeBron James early refractor or LeBron rookie. Whereas the Future Watch Auto at a $999 has consistently demonstrated that it has value across multiple players, and really the card itself has value, not maybe that the circumstance of that player. So getting back specifically to hockey, when you look at the value of Future Watch Autos, there's really no comparison when like looking at other rookie auto cards like in the hockey hobby. So I picked an example, Troy, of Trevor Zegras. So he's a 2021 SP Authentic Future Watch Auto at a $999. If you buy this today, you're going to spend $500 to $600 US for a raw card and about $900 US for a PSA 10. I could have gone through like 200 comparisons, but I just picked 4 to keep this show under 24 hours.
Wait, I'm looking at those values. I would buy the PSA 10 all day, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird how it's not usually that like 2.5 times multiplier. But so here's 4 other recent sales, like the most recent sales for Zegras, both auto or even patch autos, right? And I just want to like compare the values to the 5 to 600 raw for the Future Watch raw, and then 900 for the PSA 10. So a 2021 SPS Obsidian Lustrous Black RPA out of 75 raw, which has like a really sick patch. It's a black card with a gold auto. It's out of 75, not 1,000. It sold for $370. You're gonna pay double for a Future Watch auto than you're gonna pay almost for this card, which is crazy to think about that. So another couple really quick ones. A 2021 Skybox Metal 98 Retro Rookie Auto Raw, 119. Not numbered, but way, way less than a Future Watch. How about this one, Troy? A 2021 Synergy Rookie Auto out of 5.
Wow.
Raw, $246. Less than half of what his raw Future Watch costs. And then, to pick like a more kind of fancy brand, a 2021 Exquisite Rookie Auto out of 49, not $999.
Yep.
Sold for $310. Again, about half. So there's this crazy premium.
Yep.
That you pay for a Future Watch auto that's got a huge print run compared to kind of the normal mode that we typically want to see or buy these cards in. And you can find similar examples for almost any player. And like I said, for Zegras, we could have gone on and on and on as long as we wanted to, but hopefully everybody gets the point. So I think that we've already kind of established that the value, given the print run, is way higher than other kind of comparisons. And then next, I wanted to kind of understand a little bit of the history of the card and try to get a sense of like when Future Watch autos became a big thing. So I asked our resident hobby historian, Jeremy Lee, this question.
We have a resident historian of the Gong Show. I love it.
The Oracle, Jeremy Lee. So he thought that they started to catch a little steam in their Rick Nash rookie year, which would have been 2002, 2003, but kind of exploded in 05, 06, which we've talked about a little bit before and kind of probably merits even more study down the road. It's sort of the inflection point in the hockey hobby that 2005, 2006 was, where you have that dual rookie class with, of course, Crosby and Ovechkin. And if anyone has any sort of insight into sort of like the story of the Future Watch auto and how it became a thing and when it really started to take off, would love to hear from you. So just go ahead and message us on social and would love to get that information. So then I tried to look at card ladder sales history because it goes back so far and really, again, like understand like what were the first Future Watch autos? When did they come about? When did they really start to sell? And so the earliest Future Watch card that didn't have an auto that I could find was a Zdeno Chara from 1997 SP Authentic Hockey. It wasn't autographed, of course. That being said, though, these go for a pretty penny. Like a PSA 10, I think sold for more than $3,000 recently. I've never seen this card. Have you?
No, I haven't. And it makes sense. It's Zdeno Chara because I think he was in the league for 67 years or something like that, right?
Something like that. Longer than Gordie Howe.
Yeah.
Then the first Future Watch auto I could find was in 2001, and they called it like a limited gold. The biggest name being Ilya Kovalchuk. These are out of 25 though, not out of 999. I really like this card too. It has kind of like the vibe of like a video game font or something like that from like 16-bit or 8-bit or something like that. So if you haven't seen the Ilya Kovalchuk from 2001, you should go and look that up. And then it was, I think Jeremy was right, in 2002, 2003, when the current format, so the Future Watch auto out of 999 came out. And this, I still can't get over this.
Is that not him?
No, it is. But check this out. So the probably the biggest name, well, there's three big names that year in 2002, 2003. Henrik Zetterberg, Rick Nash, and then Jason Spezza. You can get a Zetterberg today for about $160.
Wow.
Why? Again, Trevor Zegras is going to cost you 4 times that, right, for his Future Watch auto. And Zetterberg, those early 2000 guys are kind of like the forgotten era.
Yep.
I think a little bit in the hobby. But that's a pretty cool card, and I wouldn't mind owning it. And so, yeah, if you come across on something like that really cheap, might be an
Well,
interesting pickup there.
yeah, kind of a tangent, even though what I'm going to say does not refer to future watches at all. I kind of regret selling that or what did I get? The Henrik Zetterberg clear cut. I think it was a canvas, like red ink canvas, numbered out of
Yes,
46.
46.
I
Yeah,
kind of regret that. I kind of wish I had that
yeah, that
card
might have
back.
been one that was fun to hang on to. So to continue the looking at the metrics and sales stats and Future Watch, I wanted to take like a big picture look, and to date, I found 1,941 Future Watch autos have sold for more than $500. 878 more than 1,000 US, 242 more than 5,000, and 98 sales of more than 10,000. And then they tend to sell pretty frequently too. So far in 2023, going from January 1st through now, 11,500 Future Watch autos have sold on the secondary market. So who knows at card shows and all the other trades and stuff like that. It's a big number of these cards change hands every year. Hopefully all of this gets us to what we sort of already knew. It's a very popular card. It can be insanely value and carries a premium over any other rookie auto card, and also has more than a 20-year legacy. So with all that history, context, sales data, it kind of brings us back to the question that you started us with, Troy, is how can a card where there's so much of them, so many of them, there's 1,000 of these, have so much value? Why is this 99 card valuable and other high numbered cards almost have no value? And if you drop a pretty penny, which would cost you a lot of money on like a McDavid, Ovechkin, Matthews, Jack Hughes, some other big name Future Watch Auto today, are we certain as collectors that these cards will still have value and still be chased 10 years from now as they are today? And so I think that's kind of the where I try to put a lot of thought in answer that question for myself as to the best that I could. So the first step was I wanted to get the opinions of collectors. And we threw out a question on Instagram the other day, got a ton of response, which was awesome. I love it when we to kind of get a whole bunch of feedback from collectors.
Mhm.
I'm not going to read all of them because honestly, there were so many. But we asked what makes the Future Watch autos so special and valuable. Basically, the question we asked. And here's what a few of the collectors responded and said. And I think the key here is, Troy, that there is some definite themes that are repeated in all these responses that keys you into understanding why these cards hold the place that they do in the hobby. So here's some of the responses. Hard signed, limited to $9.99 or less, clean design.
Mhm.
The trend mostly. So I think that's something that's saying the herd mentality. Rarity, yet with the number 999 could be lower. Collectors love autos from base sets. The 2005 Future Watch autos are a big part of the lineage as well. Next one is because of the SP Authentic brand. Next one, on card auto and most sought after rookie besides the cup. A step up from a regular Young Gun with a number on it. Brand name plus on card auto rookie. Because we have no clue how many Young Guns are
Yep,
printed.
that's my favorite one.
Numbered,
Preach,
they look
preach.
good. Best you can get short of an RPA. Somewhat rare / limited, autographed, continuity of the set over the years. First major auto, and for the most part, they are so clean looking and
Mhm.
utilize white space well. Then on card auto. Someone said because Gongshow says so. I wish. Yeah, I really, really wish that. Not true at all. We know there's only 999 of them as opposed to infinity of the Young Guns. They're hard signed, known / known print run, on card auto, lots of history of the set, historical prestige. And then last person that I
Mm.
wrote down thought that the talent of the rookie classes over the past few years has really catapulted them. So is there any sort of themes that stood out to you in hearing what collectors have to say.
The on-card auto, actually, a lot more. There's like 5 or 6 that said on-card auto, and it makes sense to me now that I look at it. It's like, yeah, and I think when you showed those Zegras ones, I think some of those, the other cards that weren't the SP had, I think they were stickers. And on-card autos, the more I get it, the more I'm into this, the more that's important. And I see that collectors really like it. And I like the heritage stuff. It came up a lot. The numbering, because like Young Guns, we don't know. It's infinity. It's a billion. There's a billion Young Guns out there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I kind of wrote down the takeaways that kind of mixed the themes that I saw and what collectors had to say in my own thoughts, and came up with 5 reasons why I think, to explain why these cards have the value that they do. The first is the heritage of the SP Authentic set. So SP Authentic goes back to the 90s, of course. And there's lots of huge cards across many sports. And so that gives it panache going forward. And I think as part of that too, in earnest since 2005, Troy, we've had this great continuity with the single card type, this Future Watch Auto. We have 18 years where you can count on now, from Ovechkin and Crosby to Stamkos and McKinnon and McDavid, Jack Hughes, Cole Caulfield, Kaprizov, they're going to have this Future Watch Auto. So it's similar to the Young Guns, right? Where you know that there's going to be a Young Guns every year. You know there's going to be a Future Watch Auto. And if you're a collector over time, that's cool that you can have essentially the same card for rookies that were 20 years apart from each other in the league. The next thing I wrote down is what you said too, that it appears it's a big deal, and it's a big deal to me, and I think you, that it's hard sign on card auto. Yeah. The next thing I thought a lot about is, I think in this case, the print run out of 999, where it becomes an advantage to this card, is it makes it more accessible. When a card's out of 10 or 25 or 49, whatever it is, a lot of times they don't come up for sale very often. So here you have a key rookie auto that everybody, or a huge amount of collectors love and chase, but you can buy it similar to Young Guns probably any day of the week that you want one for any player. Maybe not the grade you want, but the card. I'm assuming that there's not many, especially of the more modern guys, that aren't available every single day. So I think that the fact that it's accessible for even new people getting into the hobby, it's something that they can chase right away. It seems like, and it does make sense, that although the number is pretty big at 1,000, when compared to the Young Guns, at least it gives collectors some degree of confidence that the print run is known at least. So you don't have that, well, what if there's like 200,000 of these cards sort of hanging over your head when you drop big money on a base Young Gun 10. And then the last thing that I put, which to me, I think is actually really important in this, is that it's a very clean aesthetic and design. People mentioned it used the white space, but the entire card is designed around having that rookie auto. So you know that when you're good, that the auto is the focus or the feature of the card, where we've talked a lot before about sometimes, because collectors want tons of autos, that Upper Deck sort of like shoehorns autos onto cards. They dull some of the shiny part, or they write the auto over the face or something like that we'll see a little bit later on, where the start of the design of the card is where's a big white space that the player can sign their name and can make the card look amazing nonetheless. So those are, I guess, as I tried to really think about why this card is so special, those are the best of my ability, the 5 reasons I could come up with. Do you agree or disagree, or would you add anything that maybe I forgot?
No, I think all those make absolute perfect sense. There's nothing else that I could tell you that wasn't already put in those comments, all the 20 that you read. And we got a lot more than that. That was just what we put down. But yeah, it all makes sense on why the card has kept its value, why they're so valuable. Even though I think you're going to get to next, kind of some reasons why. Well, what what's going to happen in the future with this card?
Yeah, one of the main reasons why I wanted to go through this exercise and talk about the Future Watch Auto today is over the last few months. It doesn't happen all the time, but we've heard a few
No.
times different people speculate that, well, the Future Watch Auto is a big deal today, but 5 years from now, maybe nobody will care about it. And if you're buying 30, 40 grand on like an Ovechkin or something like
Yep.
that today, that's definitely not something that you would be excited to hear, or an opinion that you hope would come true. And so it got me thinking that, what is to the best of anyone's abilities, and nobody
Yep.
can tell the future, of course, but what is the likelihood that these cards are still that are still valuable today, that if you spent money on one, that it would be 10 years from now? Is there a reasonable chance that could be worth more? And the key reason why it wouldn't be is pretty obvious, right? It gets down to that 999
Yep.
element. And we have talked a lot about scarcity and real scarcity, where there's so many cards that have way, way fewer print runs that hardly have any value. So I can see how, in some people's minds, that would kind of put in doubt maybe some of the long term viability of investing in these Future Watch Auto cards. But the more I think about it, though, Troy, and reflect on the reasons, going back to those like 5 reasons I just gave, and also listening to what everybody chimed in with when we asked for feedback, I don't see any of those reasons being any less valid or valued by consumers
Hmm.
5 to 10 years from now. So, if part of the reason why people like the card is the legacy and heritage of the SP brand, it's not going to, it's only going to enhance with, it's already
Hmm.
25 years old or more, 30 years old as a brand. Future Watch Autos, 20 years old, 10 years from now, then it's 30 years, right? It should just be a little
Yep.
bit better. Then if you assume that Upper Deck sticks with on-card autos with these cards, which we hope they
Yep.
do, and the hobby grows, if whether it's through like Fanatics making the general sports card hobby that much bigger, or Bedard or some of these young talent, them coming into the league, the NHL learning how to market, whatever it is, if the hockey hobby grows by 50%, then that out of 999 gets spread out amongst a lot more collectors.
Yep.
So if the opposite were true and the hobby shrunk, then maybe it'd be more of an issue. I, but I don't see that happening. Then I look at, well, the minimalist white space design. I'm going to assume that they continue that as a hallmark for cards, so I can't see that diminishing
Yep.
in value. And then I thought too, going back to all the whole kerfuffle in these recent releases where players not returning autos.
Hmm.
At some point, I wonder if we actually see less autos in sets, where the just give people tons of autos in every box isn't feasible for Upper Deck. The athletes don't like it. They're not happy. It dilutes the value of autos, where maybe Upper Deck pulls back on these a little bit down the road, and it makes like a Future Watch Auto even more valuable because there's just would be less overall autograph cards out there for that player. I don't know. Has the last couple weeks made you wonder if we'll start to see less autos down the road?
It has, from the standpoint that we've gotten a lot more questions on products seeing too many autos or oversaturated with autos, and what's the next thing we need to do, because it's autos are becoming very plentiful in products, and is that water stuff down? So I've actually kind of thought about that a little bit. Now personally, I love autos. Give me all the autos
Sure.
you can. I love autos in boxes, even if they're not the best players. I still love pulling autos. I think it's a cool rush when you do. But obviously, a lot of products now have a guaranteed hit or a guaranteed auto. So I definitely do think that's going to come into play here in the near future.
Yeah, I just don't see again the mentality of collectors changing to a degree where it's like I'm trying to like think, well, what would the reason be if somebody has the opinion that 5 years from now nobody cares about Future Watch Autos? The only again thing I think you could draw from would be that in your mind, collectors wise up and think that out of 999 is just too much.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been too much for 18 years. So why would that change all
And
of a
that's
sudden in the next 5,
well,
10 years?
that seems like that's the one thing, right? That's the one thing. It's out of 999. And I think those other things are kind of still outweigh that.
Yeah.
Like I could tell you to kill it, go to sticker autos. I think that would do a lot of damage if they did that. I think the on card clean white space, there's a spot for the hard signed auto. I think that looks really cool. I think sticker autos would actually hurt this product, but that's just me.
So I think my opinion is they'll always have value. Where I do get a little, or where I guess I question things a little bit is, does the out of 999 limit the total potential upside for a particular card? So if you're a guy that spent 85 grand
Mm-hmm.
on a McDavid Future Watch auto, do you now he bought a, or he or she, I should say,
Yeah, it's a 10, right?
got a BGS 10. So
Yeah.
that sort of is a way that we justify it being so much more scarce. But let's like a PSA 10, maybe 30, 40 grand is a better example.
Mm-hmm.
Is part of you like, well, what are the chances that this card could ever be worth 60,000 or 80,000? Given that there's the print runs out of 999.
Yeah.
So I would have a little bit of pause at that. Now, with that being said, who knows what the Connor Bedard,
Yeah.
the first PSA 10 auto 10, if that was 6 figures out of the gate, would you be shocked? I mean, I don't
No.
think it will be,
Nope.
but I wouldn't be shocked either. So I guess overall, I wonder maybe the total upside would be limited. Like you're not going to maybe ever have a $500,000 Future Watch auto because there's just too many of them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they won't have value. To even get more feedback on this in related to investing and long-term value, and would you be afraid to put your money into Future Watch auto? We did a listener poll on Instagram and basically again asked the question, are Future Watch autos a good long-term investment? I was really, well, number one, we got great response, again, over 200 votes. I was surprised that so many people said yes. 86% of collectors said yes and only 14% no. That's pretty resounding.
Yep.
Confidence in these. So I don't know. How do you feel about the long-term viability of Future Watch autos? Do you think that they're going to continue to have value? Would you be nervous putting big money into a Future Watch auto today?
I would not be nervous today if Upper Deck keeps all the principles and the design and everything the same. I would feel okay with it. I do get worried a little bit that they might change something. Like I said, they might decide sticker autos or something in that nature. That would kind of worry me a little bit. I do like to even though you kind of have some built-in scarcity with the grading if you go that route.
Sure.
And you have built-in scarcity if you want to go the inscription route. I don't know how much a premium inscriptions pull over the regular, or if
A
any
lot.
premium. Do they? Okay, they do have
a lot, like
Okay.
double, I think.
Yeah, so that's another route you can go to if you are a little bit worried about that, is maybe try to go the inscription route. Again, I'm not going to be spending $80,000 on one of these cards, but if you do, I think like the Bedard, if you go that route, then I might be a little worried if I pay exorbitant 6-figure amount, but you're betting on the player more than the card, the heritage of the card, and then the Future Watch auto, which I think I'm okay with it, and I think it holds value going forward.
In your mind, what's more bankable, the inscribed Future Watch or the Future Watch Black with the gold auto?
Oh, those blacks are so nice. Personally, I would like a black with the gold ink over an inscribed any day, just because I like how the card looks, and I'd want to display that more. And from a value perspective, I don't know. I'm guessing the inscribed, like you said, are the blacks with the gold ink, are they numbered? Are they a limited run?
No, and I think that's the issue, but they're super short print.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I don't know, how like the print run compares to like a Young Guns acetate, but sort of the same vibe. And because of that, I actually think the inscribed Future Watch probably has more value potential, just because it eliminates that.
Yeah.
Well, how many of these?
You know,
are
there's
there
50,
really
right?
question?
Yep.
Yeah, there's only 50, and that takes a huge chunk out of the 1,000.
Yep.
Down. What's that? 5%.
Yep.
Top 5% sort of deal. All right. Well, that's our kind of breakdown of the Future Watch Auto. I think we're both fairly bullish on the long-term prospects. But if you guys have any more thoughts, of course, we'd love to hear from you. Message us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and we can continue the conversation in our Discord or on social media. Very excited to do that. Got to make a quick mention for Gongshow partner and sponsor Slab Sharks. Of course, we thank them for their continued support of our show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is live and runs through this upcoming Thursday evening. Every week, Troy, there's tons of hockey cards to choose from in the auction. Here's just a few of the amazing cards that I found in this week's auction. There's another big one. They had a huge auction last week, and it's very juicy again this week. So this 2021 SP Authentic Cole Caulfield Future Watch Auto Patch flop. Now, at some point, I might have to get a JJP flop, because that's literally my two favorite things to say all in one card. JJP flop. Well, the Cole Caulfield flop out of 100. PSA 10 Auto 10. This is a big card.
Yeah.
I feel like in the last 2 weeks, the whole PSA 10 Auto 10 thing has become a thing where people are referencing that, and that it's really starting to drive a premium and value. And I'm wondering, now this is me trying to speculate a little bit and be a little ahead of the curve, if there might be a little bit of a run, if that really does kind of play out that way, of people resubbing their PSA 10s that don't have that auto grade to try to get that auto 10 grade. I just feel like out of nowhere, I've heard that referenced a lot lately. This card is a great patch too, which doesn't hurt. So big Cole Caulfield card. The next one, Troy, until I saw the auction, I didn't even know this existed. So it's one of the 480 humbling moments as hockey card podcasters where we're like, I probably should have known this. Like, when we didn't know that, what was it? Credentials missed like every rookie auto in it.
Yeah, every good guy.
Did you know that there was a gold redemption for Bedard from MVP?
I don't think so. I knew there was a redemption. I count that as a win.
Yeah. And we've been tracking that. So there's a gold one, which must, of course, be more limited. Already over $1,000 very early into the auction. So it'll be interesting to see where that one ends up. The next one is 2015 Upper Deck Buybacks Wayne Gretzky Black Diamond Lustrous Greats Auto out of 4. Cool card. I love the word lustrous, but yeah, they see now this is one where I could fix this card if I was
I agree.
Silver ink auto over the chest or the top part there.
Yeah, I like I think chest might be good too.
They did like the Post Malone thing here and gave Gretzky a face tattoo with his own auto. But still a cool card though.
It's still a cool card. I wish that was somewhere else up here.
I just had to point that out. But and then next one is pretty awesome. 2020-21 The Cup, Nicholas Lidstrom.
Yeah, that's sweet.
All-time alum out of 50. It's raw, but it's got an amazing inscription. 4-time Stanley Cup champ right on the card. Can't beat that.
Do you know the bid on this one?
Probably in your price range.
I was like, I'm intrigued by this one, but we'll see what happens. Nice, we'll see what happens on Thursday.
That's just 4. There's tons of great cards. This could have been a lot bigger, but head to slabsharks.com for a link to the auction. Check them all out. And if you're a Canadian hockey card collector and are looking for an easy way to sell your cards, all while exposing them to a large buyer pool, we'd suggest checking out Slab Sharks for their eBay consignment services. They take all the hassles out of selling your cards. And there are many hassles, Troy. Like taking good images, doing the listing, setting up the auction right, answering buyers' questions, hunting down payment, packaging, shipping cards out, and figuring out how to ship from Canada to the U.S. or the U.S. and Canada is a nightmare. We know that. They just take care of everything. Make it super easy for you. So again, check out slabsharks.com for complete consignment information, including payout rates and to get started consigning your cards today. Hobby news time. So Johnny Toews, or Jonathan Toews, as they call him in the business, will not be playing hockey in 2023-24, Troy, at least to start the season.
Yeah, it's weird.
What number does he wear?
Taves? Oh, is he 19? I thought he was 19. I'll look it up while you talk.
If he ends up being the greatest player, we have to call him Johnny Toews the entire episode, and just for the people that like go apoplectic on us on social media, because we tend to pronounce every name wrong anyways. But that would be amazing.
Yeah, he is 19. I looked it up.
19. Well, unfortunately, he's still dealing with symptoms from long COVID, which does not sound fun. And because I wasn't exactly sure, I looked up long COVID, and here's what I found out. It's COVID that lasts longer, basically. I'm just kidding. Well, so specific symptoms include chronic pain, brain fog, shortness of breath, chest pain, intense fatigue, all things I would not want to deal with while playing in the NHL. Here's a quote from Toews. I cannot deny my love for the game of hockey and still feel the passion for competing at my highest level. However, these past few seasons have been very difficult considering my health challenges. My focus is to give myself the time and space to fully heal and enjoy life to the fullest again. Really sad.
Yeah.
That he's had to deal with that sort of stuff. Toews was the 3rd overall pick in the 2006 NHL entry draft. He, of course, is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, won the Conn Smythe in 2010, Selke Award, Trophy Award, whatever it is, in 2013, Messier Leadership Award in 2015. He's played 1,067 games, has 372 goals, 511 assists for 883 points. Toews is a 2007 Young Gun. His PSA 10 pop only 248, pretty low. Last sold for $429 US on August 1st. It is down about 28% in the past 3 months. I assume it'll go down a little bit further when he's on hockey hiatus here. You just hope that if he's able to come back, he can find a good situation where he can contribute.
Yep.
I hate it when like legendary players kind of limp across the finish line. You want to see him finish more on top. So wishing him all the best. Last thing in hobby news, Troy, is a little bit of a delicate thing, but I think that there is an important kind of message in the whole Wander Franco situation.
Yeah.
So I'm sure all of you have heard now about the whole Wander Franco deal in baseball. We won't get into the details because, well, it's pretty disturbing. And the details aren't super pertinent anyways to why I wanted to bring it up. We had a really good discussion on our last show about common mistakes hockey collectors make. And a bunch of people chimed in with their thoughts too, where a theme that came up a number of times was basically don't go super deep with one player, especially a prospect, or don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. And to me, Troy, what this whole Wander Franco thing serves as a reminder is at this point exactly that there's so many variables you have to weigh when making decisions on putting money into specific players. And there's no way to really ever protect yourself from even tragic or unfortunate circumstances, or in this case, like something really disturbing happening with a player. And there's just so many things that are out of your control that it's almost impossible to predict or protect yourself from. If you're like, I'm going to go all in and put my retirement into Wander Franco, that would really stink right now. And I bet you there's a lot of people that have put real money into this guy that are pretty dumbfounded right now, because if all these allegations are true, I can't imagine his cards will be worth much or anything going forward. And so again, Troy thought we should mention it as a reminder to not put all your eggs in one basket. That crazy, ridiculous, insane things happen all the time. Anything you want to add to
I think it's a great point. Again, you have to let the whole legal process play out to figure out what's going to happen. But again, don't put your eggs all in one player. Just don't. Diversify. Like what Wu-Tang said, diversify your bonds.
Nobody would have predicted this, of course.
No, remember He's got was it the highest selling or produced Tops Now card when he got his first, I think it was home run maybe in Major League Baseball. And
oh yeah, it was like 60,000.
it was some crazy
Tops Now.
run. So you can tell he has hype. And a lot of people did probably go all in on him. Just now, again, these are all allegations. Who knows what comes out of it? But again, just the important point of, hey, stuff happens. And when you put everything into one player, it might backfire. So just remember that.
Like overnight, the value can go to nothing.
Yeah.
And it happened a little, like, not, I don't want to compare situations because this is pretty extreme in a bad way, but you had the whole Tatis thing with steroids or the OJ thing, like, a long time ago, of course. But man, crazy things happen, or a player gets like a little like very vocal on like the political fringes that no matter what side you're on, sort of rubs people the wrong way. That, and it could have nothing to do with even what their play has been. And so, like I said, I think it's just a good reminder if you find yourself, like if you have 890 Jack Hughes rookies, as much as I like Jack Hughes, that's just something you might want to be mindful of.
Just be careful.
Need to make a quick mention for our partner at PWCC. Thanks to them again for their support of our show as well. A reminder, Troy, that the August premiere auction ends this upcoming Thursday. So be sure to head to pwccmarketplace.com, place your bids. Maybe we'll see some new records on one of the 3 monster Future Watch Auto PSA 10s in the auction. There's the McDavid, Ovechkin, and Crosby. I guess we'll see. Also, the PWCC weekly auction is live. And Troy and I will be highlighting our favorite cards, both vintage and modern, on this upcoming Thursday's podcast. And then if you can't get enough of me, which you wouldn't be my wife because she's just kidding. I do a hockey auction watch party with our good pal Jeremy Lee, our resident, what do we call him? Hockey hobby historian, on his YouTube channel, Sports Cards Live. That is each Sunday at 8:30 Central Time. So would love for you all to join and chat with us there during that show. So whether it's playing with the big dogs like Troy in the premiere auction, or the weekly auction is more of your speed, like with me, or you just want to buy great hockey cards in their fixed price marketplace, be sure to head to pwccmarketplace.com. Another week where we have a whole bunch of new product release stuff to go through, Troy. It's been fast and furious. And these checklists, man, they just keep coming out. So Metal Universe, another huge set, is out, and per usual, you're gonna break it down for us.
Yeah, we're gonna try to break this down. This set is kind of crazy. It's a lot of, but like you said in the past, there's a lot of inserts, a lot of stuff. But let's try to look at it. But before we look at it, I've learned our lesson. Now I'm going to be hyper vigilant about going through that checklist for hours upon end. And so I went through it to make sure we have all our top rookies for the 22-23 rookie class. And here's the 15 I looked for. Slafkovsky, Shane Wright, Powers, Matty Beniers, Dylan Gunther, Wyatt Johnson, Jake Sanderson, Matt Boldy, Bocelli, Jack Quinn, Kent Johnson, Noah Cates, Jonathan Berggren, Jack McBain, Kirill Marchenko. That's the 15 I looked up. They're all there. They all have PMGs. They have red and green and gold PMGs.
They have autos?
So of the 15 named players I went through, they all have some type of auto, except Kirill Marchenko. I couldn't find an auto of him in the product. And he was number 15 on my list, so who knows? Maybe. I didn't go in order, but is he Russian? I wonder is he a Russian guy? I'm curious if that. I can't remember.
I would guess. I mean, Kirill is a...
Yeah. But he was the only one I could find that I couldn't find an auto. Now, maybe I missed it, but the rest of them I could find some type of auto. And remember, Metal Universe isn't like an auto hot heavy product either.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, let's look at like the product breakdown. And again, no guaranteed autos or memorabilia cards in a Skybox Metal Universe Hockey box. Just remember that, because I think a lot of the products lately have been a guaranteed auto or guaranteed something that's come out recently.
It's more guaranteed, like numbered cards, right?
Yep. All right. So the main set is 200 cards. All right. The first 100 are standard base cards or veterans. I'll show a picture. The next 100 are split between stars and rookies. And then blasters will have some parallels that you don't get in the hobby box, the blue Spectrum FX and purple Spectrum FX, if anyone's interested in that. Now, if you're on my screen or you're looking at the screen on YouTube and you see these cards, I pray you don't have trypophobia. If you don't know what that is, it's an aversion to the sight of irregular patterns or clusters of small holes or bumps. I have it. I get this card freaks me out. I don't understand it. I get goosebumps and I just don't like it. And it's because of that. It's a weird, I don't think it's actually recognized phobia, but it's a thing that's out there. And these cards kind of like just give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. So I'm
But then out of the end of time, people are going to send you these cards.
I know. I'd be like,
trying to kill you.
Yeah. So I just thought that was kind of funny.
You'll be like curled up in a ball on your floor with a bunch of Skybox Metal base cards.
Just covered in them all over them. I can't do it anymore. All right. So this product, obviously what it's known for, precious metal gems or PMGs. Green PMGs have 10 copies. Red PMGs have 90. Both are numbered to 100, with green taking up the first 10 spots and red taking up copies 11 through 100. There's also a one-of-one gold PMG version available as well. Now, the sell sheet, I didn't see a picture of it, which I thought was interesting. I kind of wanted to see what the PMGs look like for this set, but they didn't have any on the sell sheet. Printing plates.
Too, I just got those in there. Just so everyone knows, I am totally afraid. I have Gretzko phobia. I am terrified of high-grade Gretzky rookies, so send those to me. And you send Troy Skybox Metal base cards.
Yeah. All right. There's printing plates that are also available for the base set as well. All right. So select base cards have 3 levels of autographs. We have silver FX autos. I'm not going to read all. They come in base, stars, the rookies. They all have them. There's green FX autos, which are out of 10. I'll show you a picture of that if you're watching the show. A little Matty Beniers action. And there's also gold FX autos, which are 101s. On the insert front, boy, do we have a lot of inserts. So we'll start with our favorite, or I like these, jambalayas. Very rare, 1 in 960 packs. And now, because now I want to look at checklists all day long, here's the jambalaya players if you're interested. DeBrincat, Ovi, Matthews, McCarr, McDavid, Pasta, Eli Pettersson, Shesterkin, Huberto, Kaprizov, Kyle Connor, Draisaitl, Kachuk, Mitch Marner, Sider, McKinnon, Suzuki, Patrick Laine, Crosby, and Stamkos. There.
I wonder if that's Kachuk's first jambalaya.
Oh, Matthew. Yeah, I don't know.
That's why I try, like, when I look at these, like, well, who's the... And I wonder if Pasta's had one too. Maybe they have. I just don't know.
Who's the one guy? Which one of these is not like the others? Is that what you try to play?
And the whole like background is a lot trippier.
Yeah,
I'm really
still kind of die cut.
To see these in person.
Yep, still die cut, but definitely looks a little trippier. And the pictures don't do justice once you see them in hand and kind of move them around. They look really cool. All right, for other inserts, we have hardwares, which are 1 out of 150. Hot numbers, 1 out of 240 packs. There's hot shots, which is 1 out of 600 packs. Lynch pins. And I got a picture of a lynch pin, 1 out of 300 packs. There's metal ore, which are 1 out of 75 packs and do have autos. Then there's, make sure I say this right, Josh, Metal X.
Metallics.
Metallics. I knew I was going to say it the wrong way. There's Metallics. I got a picture of that if you're watching at YouTube. Obviously, we saw these last year. I think they got a pretty good response. They're really cool in hand.
I wonder, the background looks a little more rainbowy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like the image. I'm curious to see what the difference is in person for the Metallics, because I like that card.
Yep. And then there's also Tetrads, which are 1 out of 300 packs. In addition, there's a insert called All Starring, which I'm showing a picture of. They're not that rare, 1 out of every 32 packs. They kind of look like movie posters. I think that's what like the all starring kind of trying to say. It's kind of like a movie poster. They have gold versions out of 99. There's also autograph versions out of 25. We also have Palladiums, which are 1 out of 50 packs, which are acetate style cards. Another picture, if you're watching at home, we have Cash, which is a new insert, or Cachet, 1 out of 24 packs. There's
browser cache. I guess we'd have to ask Billy.
It's It's interesting. I have a feeling these are ones that look way better in person than what the pictures do. So of these, there's golds out of 100 and platinums out of 15. Other inserts, and I can't remember if these are all new. I apologize. There's aspects, which are 1 out of every 15 packs, which have autos. There's rookie aspects that have autos. There's bottle rockets, which there's a picture of Ovi. These also will have auto versions. I think I wrote this wrong. Flash the glove or flash the glove. I think it's supposed to say
the glove.
Flash the glove, which also do have auto copies, which I'm guessing these are goalie cards. And then there's also the house insert. So, boy, this is getting long. There are a ton of inserts. Let me just tell you, a ton of inserts. I've read off probably 20 different ones.
If you love inserts, you're going to love.
Yeah.
Which is pretty, I think, common with metal. The one thing I noticed, though, is no platinum portraits, huh?
I did not see any platinum portraits. So that's a good call out. There are rookies are featured in both Skybox Premium Prospects and 1998-99 Skybox Premium Prospects Retro. There's also Star Rubies out of 50 and Star Diamonds, which are 101, which are some of the parallels. Non-retro cards also have Star Emeralds out of 10 and Star Emerald autographs out of 25. And I'm showing a picture of that. Josh, what sticks out to you in this picture? Oh,
I don't know.
Do you see the auto?
Is it auto in power?
No, it's like horizontal, not in a good way. To me, it took me a little. I wondered. It took me a little bit to find it because I knew this was an auto card, and I was looking all, and I just didn't go. My eyes didn't go there. I think this is a really kind of odd design choice, and I don't know if I like it or not.
Can I say something controversial?
Yes.
I don't like autos in Skybox Metal.
It's not a bad take. I mean, you don't think
I think it kind of.
Yeah.
This is one where they have to like wreck the card. Like there's no card that's designed around an auto.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad take. It's one of those, you don't think of autos as a Metal Universe Hockey product.
No.
Or you don't. So you could I think you could get away with not having them. But again, this comes back to our whole autograph discussion on shoehorning stuff in. And maybe this is one where they felt they needed to put it in. All right, so they got that. And now we have, I'm going to keep going, guys. We're almost done. We have retro inserts or throwbacks. So we have the 98-99 Metal Universe Retros. Base versions are 1 in 5 hobby packs, or approximately 3 per box. Parallels include purple spectrums, precious metal gems red copies, precious metal gem green copies, and gold precious metal gems. And then we have these, Josh. I'm thinking this is growing on me. The 2013 Metal Universe cards, they use illustrations instead of photos. And it's, I believe, a nod to the 2013 Fleer Retro Marvel cards. These are extremely tough, 1 in 240 packs. Parallels follow the same PMG path as the base set and the 98-99 retro inserts. If you're watching on YouTube, I do like art and I like illustrations. I do wish there was more done with the background. I feel like it could be a little more in the background, but I do really like this card, even though that stick looks almost like a club or looks like a bow from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Looks very comic booky.
Yeah, that's what I kind of love that. And I can't tell if these are like stone pillars that are collapsed, but I do like the vibe they're going for. I can't wait to see the rest of these that come out.
I'm just so happy that, and I love this card too, but
yeah.
Thankfully, they didn't do the 97-98 retro
again. Yeah, we had enough of those, I think.
3 years in a row would have been rough.
All right. On the checklist, there's a total of 3,731 different cards. So we've definitely seen a lot bigger sets in the past. This is, I don't know, I call it kind of the smaller side.
Yeah.
Overview, cards per pack in a hobby, there's 7. Packs per box in hobby, there's 15. And boxes per case in hobby, there's 16 boxes in a case. Quick hobby box breakdown. You get 3 1998-99 Metal Universe Retros. You get 1 All-Starring, Jarring, or Metal 1. You get 5 total between Aspects, Bottle Rockets, Flash the Glove, or Rookie Aspects. 3 Skybox Premium Prospects, and you get 1 total between the House, Palladium, or Hardware. Release date, August 30th. Josh, you're going to have to talk because I forgot to look at pricing.
I'm actually looking it up
go for
now.
it.
And while I was $149.95, and the reason why I was looking it up is I want to say at the National, like you could get 2021 for like $80 a box.
Wow, really?
Like 2020 got super expensive, and for whatever reason, people just weren't buying the 2021 the same. So I'll be curious to see if these maybe new inserts or different retro PMG, well, the couple options that you're going to have will maybe make it more appealing, because the rookie class isn't better than 2021. That's for sure.
All right. Black Diamond.
Yeah, just a reminder that Black Diamond comes out on Wednesday. It's 2022-23, so it's the Matty Beniers, Slavkovsky, Shane Wright, Matt Boldy, rookie class, Wyatt Johnston. Pre-sales in the U.S. are about $250. You get 6 cards. We did a checklist overview on our last show, so if you want to get a bigger breakdown, check that one out. So I did a basic card ladder search or sales history search for last release, 2021-22 Black Diamond. I found 523 cards that have sold for more than $250, which is about the box cost.
Wow.
So I don't know what that means, but I'm trying to figure, and I think I was doing that because, man, I get nervous at $250 for 6 cards.
Yeah, I agree with you. Black Diamond is one of those. I don't think I've ever.
Is this for break? Is this a product you'd rather buy into a break than?
I think so.
Maybe buy
or just buy the single. Look at the checklist, find the singles, the guys you want, and go for it that way. I'd have a lot of trouble buying a box of this.
You could get just murdered.
Yeah.
For that, and the other thing too, and we'll see. Hopefully, there's a little bit of an improvement, but condition has been a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
In Black Diamond releases too. Now, looking back again to that last release at 2021-22, biggest sale was a Mo Sider Rookie Gems Pure Black Auto 101. It sold for $4,154 in October of 2022. So there are some big cards that you can, of course, get in this set. But man, again, to go back to, I get nervous even like at Stature at $130 and 8 cards, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're almost doubling that for less cards with Black Diamond. Speaking of Stature, there's some early sales already out. It's been out for less than a week, but some big cards have already sold. And again, this is missing Caulfield, Byfield, and Spencer Knight autos.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. If you're watching on YouTube too, I just want this little, we're going to run through like the top 5 sales so far.
Yep.
Just as an example of how awful eBay pictures are in general for cards that you're typically asking a lot of money for.
Yeah.
Just throwing it, no offense to anyone, but at number 5, we have a Seth Jarvis Rookie Black 101. It sold for $503 US. So pretty big sale for Seth Jarvis.
Yeah,
good player.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when you talk about this picture actually isn't that bad, but I still would like to see a 101 card. I want it out of a top loader and out of the penny.
I want to see the condition. I
want to see the condition up close. Yeah. Maybe there's other pictures, but
the number 4 sale is a Jerome McGinley patch auto out of 6. I said this last show. The patch autos in Stature are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really like them. And this sold raw for $600 US. At number 3, there's a Nick Suzuki patch auto again out of 6 that sold for $625. It looks like the Star Wars opening credits to that card. Right there. It does. Like trapezoid or whatever. Second highest selling card is a Nick Lidstrom patch auto 101.
Wow.
Raw sold for $800 US, $800 for a Nick Lidstrom card. That's pretty good. And then the biggest sale so far is one we featured in one of our Instagram posts. It's the Jeremy Swayman RPA out of 15 that sold raw for $1,178.
I thought my eyes were blurry. US. Nope, that's the picture.
The picture's a little blurry, but you get the gist. Again, another really cool patch auto. And you would know this if you look at all the sales as close as we do, but sales have been pretty strong for Stature out of the gate.
I do think Stature is getting like an uptick or a pickup. I think people are gravitating to it. I think it looks fantastic. Like, I'll get into personal pickups, but I loved the cards, how they look, what they look like, even though mine stunk.
All right, Troy, 2 shows in a row with personal pickups. It's like a record for us. has it's like a double rainbow, something like that. Feels like it. So I did want to bring it up because I got a card that I've been actually seeking for a long time and thought about for a long time, and finally had moved some stuff and decided to pull the trigger on. It's nothing crazy or anything like that, but I snapped up this 2015 Fleer Showcase Connor McDavid Metal Universe Rookies. It's a base card, PSA 10. I've just always really liked this card, and it's one of my favorite base cards. I love the black background with McDavid really popping, given the colors of his Oilers uniform off of it. It's my second now McDavid rookie. That's kind of, I call like maybe off the beaten path rookies that I've gotten. So I got a OPG update rainbow foil PSA 10 a little bit ago. And so this is a PSA 10 2015 Fleer Showcase Metal Universe. A pretty low PSA 10 pop count, which is another reason why I was interested in this card. So the pop count is 113 for PSA out of 235 submitted. Now, we brought up this topic, I think last show or the show before, but I think you also have to consider total gem rate now too. So before I bought the card, I wanted to understand, well, sure, if there's 113 PSA 10s, what if there's 700 BGS 9.5s? Because that would change the scenario. So if you look at Beckett, SGC, and CSG, there's an additional 55 gem mints. So that gives a total gem mint pop count of 168. When you compare to a Young Guns PSA 10, where there's pop is 2,500 and 10,000 for total gem rate, it's a lot less, of course. The only thing that gave me slight pause is there's been year to date 30 additional PSA 10s have been added, because I've been looking at that too, the trend rate. But I don't know how many of those were sitting in top loaders versus maybe BGS 9.5s that people cross over, because that's the one misleading thing about looking at that total gem rate is if it's probably less than 168, because we don't know how many BGS 9.5s have been crossed to PSA 10s, or maybe the other way around too. You just don't know. So I paid something like 360 for this card, about 15% of what its Young Gun PSA 10 costs, with a 25 times less pop count. So those are I'm trying to find like really cool cards that I think I really like and hope other people do too, and put my money there. Do you have any thoughts on this card?
Looks great. I love it. Is this the picture? Is that your actual card?
Yeah, it's my card.
Yeah, because the corners look fantastic. Like, I was just kind of looking at it. It looks really sharp. It looks like a 10. It's a really good looking 10. So yeah, it looks great.
So that's my personal pickup. I got a text from Troy 3 days ago that said I bought a crap load of boxes. So how did those crap load of boxes
and crap load of boxes is subjective. I actually bought one, was it 23, 24 MVP, and then in 2020 SP Legends Signature Edition, and then 2 21, 22 statures. Is that what we're on? I gotta remember. 21, 22. Okay, so that was all the hockey I bought. 4 boxes. Let's just say not good. The statures, the 2 autos were nothing. I mean, they were rookies. Maybe one guy was a D. I'd have to look. I have him sitting over the side of me, but nothing too good out of that. Maybe like an Ovechkin out of 125 green insert in my stature is probably one of the best ones. SP Legends didn't hit anything besides a acetate all-time future watch of Luke Robitaille. So a cool card. Just that was the only big thing out of that. MVP, not much. So I did not do well, but again, I love ripping boxes. But as we've said 100 times, rip boxes for entertainment. You usually will not get rich on them.
What's your favorite Ice Battles card you got out of it?
Oh, I got lots of ice battles. I have so many ice battles. I really wish I could get those are good ones. I'm gonna give those out at Halloween. Hopefully, there's just some kid will be motivated to see ice battles and maybe play with his friends or get into hockey cards or something. Who knows?
We have a good amount of mailbag questions, so we're gonna roll
Yeah.
right into mailbag. First question from Gongshow Discord, H. Digler. What's the story with Upper Deck Evo and the Upper Deck ecosystem?
Oh man.
You can take a stab at
I
this
just
one.
said, yeah, I would like to know it too. I said I'm not 100% sure. I just know this much. The whole Upper Deck Evo, it's not a product for me. I never really got into NFTs or any of that stuff besides buying $300 of Dogecoin when that came out. So I think I have that. I played around with Evo, the platform. I think you did too, Josh.
Yeah.
Like right when it came out, we might have bought one or two things. It just wasn't me. It's something I don't get excited about. It's the digital only. So they have on their on the EPAC platform. Now you have EPAC, you have Evo, and then you also have collectible, which I think is on like the comic books or side of stuff that Upper Deck does. I really wish I could give a better answer. It's just not something I'm interested in and not very into.
My understanding
I would say I was much more into EPAC. Like EPAC and the hockey cards make sense. The Evo thing, it's not me.
My understanding of the Upper Deck ecosystem is it's just a platform that ties everything together. So you might be able to interact between Evo and EPAC and collectible a little bit. Evo is the digital only. I'm very similar to you. It just probably ages us more
Yeah.
than anything else. It's like our parents couldn't understand why we played video games
Yep.
all day, right? I don't understand Evo. It's probably just Upper Deck where they're forward thinking platform for young people, but I see such a value in having the card in hand. I don't
Yeah.
I don't understand how, like, looking at the card and the cool printing technology and how the condition plays in a factor. When all that goes away with digital only, I grasp to understand how that's appealing. But like I said, I think that just ages me. So that's
Yeah.
my understanding of Evo. Next question, Instagram, Carter Cards. He has two questions. How do you store your collections? I'll let you go again here, Troy, first.
All right. So how I store mine is my base cards are in 5,000 count cardboard boxes by player. So I cut up little inserts and write down every player's name, and I have them all by player. That took way too long. And my top loaded cards and slabs are in the same kind of cardboard boxes, but they're specifically made for top loaders and slabs. So they're not just jammed in there. I also put cards I really like, and my PC cards are in one of my 3 display cases. So I can look at them all the time because I've just never been one of those person that can collect cards, but just keep them in boxes. If they're ones that I PC or really like, I want them out. I want to display them. I want to look at them. So that's how I kind of do my storage.
Do you still enter every single card, including your base cards, into a spreadsheet?
Yep.
We need to make a documentary about you. I just want to learn. My cards are a total disaster right now. I need to consolidate, get rid of stuff. I have way too many.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I talked about last show. Like, my new sort of drive is to have like 20 really good cards and focus way more on quality than on quantity.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, 5,000 count boxes. I have books, I have cases. But yeah, if I had like a Zion case with 20 good cards in it, and that was my collection, I think I would be very happy with that. So that's my aspiration as we speak. Next question. How do you ensure safe and fair trade, sales, or purchases? Well, eBay offers protection on any purchase, and if you use a credit card, you usually get protection through that. If you're doing any sort of peer-to-peer kind of trade, whether it be trade at a card show or anything like that, I would use PayPal Goods and Services because you get the same credit card protections through that. But I think in general, on the peer-to-peer thing, my biggest piece of advice is don't do a huge deal with someone you literally met 15 minutes ago.
Yep.
And what people that are like scammy, what they prey on is presenting deals that are too good to be true,
Yep.
where you lose all sight of like reason and rationality and get swept up in the deal. So also too, maybe one last little thing, if it seems too good to be true, it most certainly probably is.
Yep. Yeah, I said if you do an online transaction, again, like you said, PayPal goods and services. But I'm going to throw an extra thing in there. Don't be cheap on this. If you are a seller, pony up and pay for PayPal goods and services. I see a lot of people try to pass that on to the buyer. If I'm the seller, do it. Just show the good faith, or not the good faith, but pony up and protect yourself if you want to make the deal. Like you said, eBay's got protection. You get a lot more protections as the buyer. So just remember that if you're buying on eBay, they've got pretty good protections out for you. If you are still concerned, there's third-party middleman services. I know of VeriSwap, where they'll be the middleman. They'll do like the authenticating, the verification. They'll ensure both sides of the trade, and then I think you both kind of work through them, and they'll help you do it. And I've heard good things about them. I've never used them, but if that's something that concerns you or a route you want to go, so it's called VeriSwap. VeriSwap.
There's a fee to that.
Like yep, there's definitely like a fee.
Something like that.
Definitely a fee. And then I said, last thing, get references if that's something, or do more research. Look at anything you can, their socials, try to find information out on them. But yeah, Good question. It's definitely something to always check on and be cognizant of.
From Instagram, Rimpy Rips. Great name.
I love that.
Not sure if you've spoken about shill bidding on eBay.
We talked about shill bidding a long time ago. I remember talking about shill bidding, and I guess, yes, shill bidding happens, and it will always happen. It's one of those things that people do all the time. It's one of those things you have to look out. It's really important to go into an auction. And to me, this is why I try to go into an auction, but you better have a maximum price you will pay. And once it goes past that, kind of walk away, or else you just never know. Maybe it is getting shill bid up, but just use your common sense. Be able to walk away from something. I know how hard that is. I get it. And there's also, actually, if you look for articles on this on Google, just eBay shill bidding, there's actually a really good articles on what to look for. You can see bid histories. Now, where you have to be careful, and this is something I've run into, I think it's called string bidding, where I've kind of done this inadvertently, where I'll bid maybe $10, and then it says you're outbid. Then I go to 12, outbid 13. Well, now it starts logging each one of those auctions, and it looks like I'm maybe shill bidding it up, but I'm just trying to get a price where it finally says that you didn't go, or you're not outbid. Now, again, that's maybe where you put eBay wants you to put your max bid in, and then sit there and wait, and it will go a bid up for you. But there's definitely articles out there on what to look for. It's a great question. It happens. You always have to look out for it.
I am pretty much in lockstep with you. I think, though, that shill bidding is very much so not exclusive to eBay either.
Mm-hmm.
I think it happens probably in every auction and every auction house out there. And much to like what you said, when you figure out what a card is worth to you, and that becomes the price you're comfortable paying, I'm not excusing shill bidding, and nobody wants to pay more than they have to. But if you're comfortable at $100 and you end up paying $100 for the card, then is that really the end of the world at that point? I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to excuse shill bidding, because, hey, there's karma, and I kind of believe, hey, if you're going to be scammy, that this stuff will come back at you in some way or another down the road. But yeah, you don't want to extend yourself because you get very competitive in the auction. And I don't even know do you think it's one of those things, like, as an auction house, like that eBay, of course they have to say, oh, we don't like shill bidding, but they also don't have much of a financial incentive to fix it really either.
I mean, it's probably, I bet these people are so good at hiding it now, unless you see the same account always bidding up another account or something. It's got to be hard. I know they put in there, we have systems in place, automatic detection. Okay, I guess. I hope so.
we get people that, so when we do like our record sale posts or first public sale that are typically big numbers for kind of an
Mm-hmm.
interesting card, fairly often, and I understand this, people say, well, I think that was shill bid.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like they want us to maybe not like remove the record or not count a record. But my point to them is always, how are you the arbiter of what's shilled or not, right? Because the black and white is always easy, but
Yeah.
where there's black and white, there's a million grays in between.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when it comes to eBay, you have to trust their system or put pressure on them to change their
Yeah.
system to be the sort of the arbiter of fairness and truth within their auctions. And because I think that if they really wanted to fix show bidding, they could
Yeah.
and not allow it. It's not that, because there's some very telltale marker, unless there's some very sophisticated stuff like you're saying. But if you have zero feedback and you've bid
Yeah.
47 times on an auction, I'm pretty sure they could configure their system not to allow that.
Yeah.
Next question from Rippers Collectibles: Skybox Hockey 90s versus now. So I think I know what you mean by this. I took a stab at it. I would choose now because I think the players are more interesting to me now. And there's so many retro cards in the current Skybox Hockey
Yeah.
sets. You get a little bit of the best of both worlds. So,
Yeah.
anything to add to that?
I'm not a Skybox person, so neither for me.
Shots fired. Here's an interesting question. Instagram, Irish Flyers Collector. What are each of your top 3 favorite card layouts or designs? You go first, Troy.
All right. I haven't actually, I got pictures. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see mine. And I stole one of yours, even though I'm pretty sure we were both going to say it. 83, 84 OPG. It's my all-time favorite. It's the design, the nostalgia. My favorite card ever is in that set, and it's on the screen right now, the Pele Lindbergh. By far, my favorite. I love this card. I love the design. Second, anything Stature. I love Stature so much. The base cards and the parallels. Forget the inserts. They're so cool. I like that they're thick. They look like they took a lot of time to make. The steampunk vibe, I absolutely love them. And then anything kind of that 52, 53, or 53, 54 Parkers. So not the tiny ones, not the first ones, the 51s. Those early Parkers, I think they're so clean. They're so simple. And it's art. And it's got a facsimile auto. And I just love how they're drawn. And I think it's just great. Speaking of Parkers, when's Parkhurst? Isn't there a Parkhurst set coming
Champions.
out? Oh,
It keeps getting pushed. Now my fear is that there's going to be missing all the rookie autos.
yeah.
Hope that that's not the case. Good choices. Okay, here's mine. First one is 1971-72 OPG. Speaking of Guy Lafleur,
Here, I'll go find the other one.
very
There.
very classic design. There, just screams from the era it's from. Right, looks like the Monkeys or Partridge Family or something like that, or Brady Bunch kind of deal. I always loved this design. I always will. Then my second was for Lockstep 83-84 OPG.
Yep.
What I really there's 3 things that I really like about this design. The first is I love the blue kind of like hockey stick that makes the right. And then did you ever make the connection? The background of the name is kind of like a pennant from like we always had us kids of the 70s and 80s.
Oh yeah.
My favorite part of the design of the 83-84 OPG cards is the very old school classic OPG logo on the bottom right corner. So I love that. And then the next one had me all tied up in knots because I've always been really drawn to 2016-17 OPG Platinum, the retro cards from that set. And I kind of feel like a fraud a little bit, Troy, for saying that because it's sort of a portrait card, but actually something you said a couple of shows ago gave me the confidence to go out and basically
sorry, I was looking for your design. I can't.
Oh, no worries. But it's more of a portrait, but it's a plain portrait. So it's not like a rookie photo shoot where they're sitting in blue jeans. It's actually the players playing, and I just like the solid backgrounds. Like there's the black. So yeah, so here's like the Ovechkin from that. This design has already always spoken to me. And then, like you said, there's the black background ones, which I think are pretty cool.
Sorry, I should have had that up. I don't know why I missed that. There it is.
The next question is the most important question we'll probably be asked this week. It's from Gongshow Discord. Stay at home Thaddeus Stewart, our good friend. Very thought-provoking. Using a different fast food restaurant for each, build the ultimate combo: side, entree, drink, and dessert, or snack. So I'm going to go first.
All right, you go first.
For my sandwich, I have the Burger King Whopper. I've always loved the Whopper. I don't know why. Don't really like anything else at Burger King. Fries, I'm going to go with Culver's.
Okay.
Culver's just a thing in the Minnesota, Wisconsin area. Probably.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably.
And then because I'm 12 for my drink, I went with the McDonald's High C. My childhood, I've always loved that. It's probably got 45,000 grams of sugar in it, though. And then for dessert, I had to go with the Wendy's Frosty.
All right.
All right, Troy, what are yours?
So my sandwich is the Shake Shack Smoke Shack burger. That's my sandwich. For the fries, McDonald's. The drink, I just tried to be different. I like root beer. I went with the Burger King because they got Barks root beer. Love me some Barks root beer. And then I was with you too. I thought that was kind of interesting. I went Frosty for the dessert. I love the Frosties.
What flavor Frosty do you do?
I usually get the chocolate one.
Do they still have the swirl? That's one I like.
I think so, yeah.
Those chocolate and vanilla. All right, Twitter, Sebastian Engelhardt. If you had to invest in a low-numbered patch auto for the long-term hold, who do you think would be the player to do so with? I would buy one, but can't. I want to buy one, but can't decide between. I can't read. Apparently, between McDavid, Crosby, and Ovi, etc., or even a retired player. Thanks for your help. You want to go first, Troy?
Well, I almost put just ask Josh. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these three. They have all really cemented their status as legends. Maybe some room to run if McDavid can pull off a couple cups, but that obviously hasn't happened yet. Ovi has the goal chase record, but I think that seems pretty baked in at this point. And Crosby is just an all-time great. So again, you can't go wrong with any of those three.
We're very similar, almost carbon copy. I would go in my order, and just my logic would be Ovi, then Crosby, then McDavid. Ovi because he's got the cup and the goals record chase. Crosby, 3-time cup winner, Team Canada legend. And the only question I think you have to ask yourself on McDavid is, what if he never wins the Stanley Cup? What does that happen to?
Oh my gosh. I forgot to bring this up. I don't know why I thought of this now. Have you seen it's like an Instagram meme or a picture comparing Phil Kessel and Connor McDavid and their stats? No. Oh my gosh. It is fantastic. It is. People,
right, next show, Thursday show, we're breaking it down.
I want to make sure I give credit to the right person, because when I saw it, who knows how many times it's been repeated. Maybe I won't ever be able to find it. But look at if we'll put it on the next show. It is so fantastic. It's just great.
Nobody look at it till then.
Oh yeah, no,
so we can all experience it together.
All right.
Our guy Jay's back. Top Shelf Cookie Sniper 88. What Young Guns PSA 10 would you rather buy this upcoming season to flip? Jason Robertson, Jack Hughes, Cole Caulfield, or Austin Matthews? Keep in mind gem rates and profit margin in your decision. For me, Jay, this is an easy one. It's Cole Caulfield for a couple reasons. Low gem rate, 35%. Of course, he got hurt last season, and he was playing very well before that, so it should give him some upside, as his market's been a little cool since then. He just hasn't had much excitement around, hasn't played. So he'd be number one. I like Matthews a little bit too because of the potential rebound factor.
Yep.
He didn't have a bad season scoring 40 goals, but
40 goals and it's a rebound year.
And then to me, Hughes is the worst option.
Yep.
Not that he's the worst player. I really like him, but if you're talking like Young Gun PSA 10, he has like a ridiculous gem rate. Popcorn's already over 4,000.
Yeah.
I would stay away.
Yep. Agree 100%.
Okay, the next one, Troy, help me with his name. It's Instagram, Matt Matt somebody. How much impact will Bedard have on other rookie card prices from 2021-22 and 2022-23 classes? I think there's two ways you could look at this as sort of the optimistic, the glass half full, glass half empty approach. I'm going to go glass half full. I think that Bedard is going to bring more interest into the hobby, more people into the hobby, and it's going to be a high tide raises all ships scenario where it's just going to draw other rookies that play well from this past rookie class and then the one before that, like the Caulfield, Zegras, Beniers, Slavkovsky, that they're going to see increase. Now, the pessimistic view would be everyone's going to spend all their money on Bedard,
Yep.
so there's not going to be money to spend on. But I don't. I'm going to go more the high tide raises all ships. Do you have a gut feeling on that?
No, I kind of agree. These questions they're hard for me, but I think Bedard and just what he brings to the league will help the whole hobby in general and the NHL hockey market in general. So I think I'm with you on the high tide raises all ships.
Instagram, Jack's Crazy Collectibles, second best player in this year's draft class. I'm going to go Fantilli, even though he went to Michigan.
I think it's probably the guy that's not even going to be in the league for 3 more years. I'd say Matvei Michkov. I think the Flyers got an absolute steal. However, who knows if he'll ever get over here. He signed through 25-26 season in the KHL. But from all accounts, by talent, pure talent, he was the second best behind Bedard. Now, you might not see him. We lived with it with Kaprizov. It stinks when they get over and they're 27 years old and they're already in their prime, but we'll see what happens.
I've seen some comparisons of his youth hockey back because he's not that old.
Yeah.
Comparisons to Ovechkin, and he produced more than Ovechkin up until like his age right now.
Yeah, I think
which he's not going to be as good as Ovechkin probably, but
no,
but he's been very, very good.
Yeah, I think Flyer fans should be just ecstatic where they got him in the draft.
Instagram, Young Guns CC. Can you look into the truth about case hits? I can't find anything official from Upper Deck. Yeah, we'll reach out to Upper Deck on this. I'm pretty sure though that this is a thing, and it's not like a conspiracy. It's just more has to do with when they do their pack out, they want to make sure that there's a equitable distribution of the best cards. They don't want to pack out the cup and have one case that has like 16 out of 99 RPAs from like Kaprizov or something like that. And so that they will kind of organize the pack out in a manner that distributes some of the best cards amongst the cases, which would, to me, kind of be your case hit. Is that what you think too, Troy?
I would think so. And I have seen on a sell sheet where it's called out a card that will be like one per case. I don't remember them calling it a case hit, and I think they might have done that in the past. I don't know exactly if they do call out specific cards that are case hits. I always do get worried with case hits because we've definitely heard stories in the 80s and 90s where these LCSs they knew there was one awesome card in the whole case. They would rip boxes till they hit it, and then they would just sell the rest of the boxes. And that's always a little bit shady to do, I guess. But yeah, we'll send out the bat signals Upper Deck and try to get an official word on case hits.
Last question from Whales of the Hobby from X or Twitter, whatever it's called. Are local card shops overwhelmed with the flood of releases over the summer? Seems like they are flooded with products from last 2 seasons, going into what should be another busy product year with Bedard coming. You want to go first, Troy?
I'll just say I think they are flooded with hockey releases just because when I've been to our LCSs, I don't ever remember seeing this much hockey product where I could sit there and actually have to take my time to like move through them and look at them. Now, I guess this is kind of a shot, but I think they're going to be flooded with credentials and stature for a little bit until we see that those bounty programs pick up. I talked to one of our LCSs and they said credentials hasn't even moved because of all the stuff that kind of happened on it. But yeah, to get back to the original question, this had to happen. I think Upper Deck had to get caught up, and I would rather have too much product right now than not enough.
Mm-hmm. I think we're pretty similar in opinion. I would say like yes and no for certain products that aren't selling well. They're going to sit on the shelves. But when you look at like ice, last 3 LCSs I've been to around us haven't had it. or try to find SP Legends. Signature
Legends
edition.
you can't find anywhere around here. I found the one box and I bought it.
So the stuff that people are really attracted to and that are digging are selling right away, and other stuff that is sitting a little bit, but that should equal some good deals, I
Mhm.
guess, down the road. So for I guess the consumer wins in that scenario. Well, that's our show for Monday. If you like the episode, please leave a rating review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, chat with us every day on the Hockey Cards Gong Show Discord server, please consider a $5 a month or $20 a month donation, whatever works for you, on Patreon. The link is in our show description or YouTube description. It's in our Instagram profile or TikTok profile in our link tree. You can go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, and there's a link there, or you can go to the Patreon website at patreon.com and search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. Please follow us on social media. We're still trying to drive up our YouTube, so any YouTube subscriptions would be awesome.
Mhm.
We would greatly appreciate it. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. And Troy, the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast is a production of Dollar Box Ventures, LLC. Have an awesome start to your week, and we will chat with you all on Thursday.